Hey guys, I'm TattedSith, and welcome to our Pokemon DnD for the Exodus Dominion Discord channel. With us right now, we have American Warbird. He's going to be playing as
What's up?
Wolf, and then Azrael, and he's going to be playing as Izaya. I myself will be playing as Caleb. Um, Basically, what is going on? We are doing a Pokemon D&D, as I said, and it's gonna be there's not gonna be any real deaths or anything like that, but it's gonna run just like you would see in anime or in a video game, stuff like that. So this is a kind of a new thing that we're starting in the guild. It's for fun, nothing to be serious, any of that stuff. It's just something for us to fiddle around with, on the side of playing stores. Um, So to do a little rundown of what we have already done, me and American Warbird have already done a practice run of sorts, and in the practice run, we kind of ran around with the tech of like the dice rolls, Pokemon battles, stuff like that. But some interesting stuff did already happen. So things that happened in that session, um, our characters Caleb and Wolf were getting to know our Pokemon. At this time, basically all of our characters already have their starter Pokemon. And to throw off from tradition, we aren't starting off with just normal starters. We just picked a Pokemon that we felt would be a good match for our character. So with American Warbird, his starter is a Nickit, which he has nicknamed Luna. Myself, I have a Charmander. I did go the traditional route, but Charmander is also my favorite Pokemon, so I'm a little bit biased. I named Natsu, and then it's a good reference. Then we have Azro, who's Izaya. He'll be joining in this session, and his partner Pokemon is going to be which he nicknamed Spirit. So in our practice run, uh, Wolf and Caleb were getting to know their Pokemon in the town square, um, and basically while they were doing that, they were approached by two other trainers. These trainers being David. Um, they're roughly about the same age as our characters, about 15 or so. Uh, and they are your run-of-the-mill rival. And they decided to not necessarily start a fight, but start a fight. David initiated the first battle with Wolf. Um, in that, David he sent out his Elekid, and the Elekid it was a good battle. But overall, Nickit came out in the end and won with a very not so subtle headbutt from the sky.
He is
It was
fast.
definitely weird how it happened. Yeah. It was basically the Elekid was going in for a punch, and then Luna Nickit she
Sucker
did like
punched the hell out
a
of him.
very well, it was like a headbutt, like I said, but it was like she did like a quick attack, and like the LA kid was expecting Luna to appear behind him, so he turned to like punch Luna, but Luna wasn't there, and so he's looking around, and then lo and behold, Luna's like up in the sky, like coming down, like with like a severe headbutt, and Aleki just looks up and just seeing this little cute Nickit just coming right to its face and knocks it out. So David is standing off on the side, and he's just like, bear in mind, David, the character, is about 6'2", as a 15-year-old. He's a very tall kid, and he's happy. Um, After that battle, Parker decides to battle Caleb. So Caleb has Natsu, the Charmander, go out to the field. Parker sends out a small, tiny blue turtle. It was funny because American Warbird was like, "Oh, it's gonna be what was that Pokemon called?
Shootle,
What was it called?
I had been playing Pokemon
Choodle.
Shield.
It's Choodle. Yeah. You're like it's a Choodle, and I was like, no, it's Squirtle. Who would have
Squirtle.
thought? So they decided to battle, and unfortunately, the Squirtle came out victorious over Natsu, the Charmander. It was a good fight. It honestly wasn't close. Charmander or not was is a little bit still too timid for battles, and that's going to be something that it's going to have to overcome one day.
One
Hi,
day.
This
Dodger.
is my dog. Dodger's decided to join the fight. Hey, buddy. So, anyways, after the battle took place, Caleb and Wolf made their way to Terrical Forest. By the way, the island or the starting area, our hometown, is called Terrical Island, and it's based in the region that we're in and everything, which is region. Anyways, so Caleb and Wolf make their way to Terrical Forest, which is on the outskirts of Terrical Islands. But as they get to the entrance to Terrical Forest, they are stopped at the gates by a female about in her mid-20s or so, and her rather big hair cross. It's Emily, and she tells them that the forest is off limits due to an unknown Pokemon force causing havoc and chaos for any travelers or any of the islanders that are going to the forest. So for right now, no one's allowed in there until Emily's dad and the other uh, islands head honey to take care of the Pokemon that's in question. But no one knows. It's still remaining a mystery. Later on down the road, it will probably be revealed as to what that Pokemon is. But for now, it is going to be left a mystery. Um, Also, a quick side note: just because I'm looking up here doesn't mean that my camera's down here. It's because there's some background that you don't need to see, and by that I mean laundry and stuff. I don't want to show my laundry. So, but so after Caleb and Wolf talk to Emily about what's going on, and she basically says, "No, turn around, or my hair cost is gonna make you go back." Caleb and Wolf turn. Um, and at this time, Terrible Island is known for having nightly festivals. They're not huge festivals, but the Island folk are very festive and they like to have a good nightlife.
They
So,
like to party.
and the nightlife there can last. It's a party every night, literally. And the party lasts to like midnight or so. So they're making their way back to the town, and at the time it is about. And in the corner of their eye, at the edge of the B, Parker and David going back into the village as well. Curious as to what they were up to. They follow them for quite like about 10 minutes or so, and really onto a flower stand that's the town square happening, and they're getting flowers and stuff, and they listen in. Turns out they're getting flowers for their mom. Like every other Pokemon game and story, for some weird reason, our parents, or our dads more so, are missing. We don't know where they're going. We we're
We
fatherless.
don't know where they're going. They're going to go get some milk.
Man, they went to go get milk a long time ago, and they're just like, we gotta find their milk. So they're on a journey on themselves to find some good milk.
They have to find the right milk tank.
Yeah, the milk tank, it was just sour, and they heard that they had to go to the Johto region to find a good milk, and that was a good like 14 years.
Oh. We're
So
fucked up.
after Wolf and Caleb see David and Parker get flowers for their parent or for their moms, they decide that idea for them to get flowers for their moms as well. They go up to the lady that is selling the flowers, and the old lady, she's literally an old lady, like in her like 70s or so, and she gets like a nice big grin and says that the flowers are free and to hurry home. They do so. Wolf goes home. Bear in mind, Wolf lives on the nicer side of town and everything. Two-story house. He goes home to his mom. Tails is sitting by the fire. So Luna and the Nickit goes and plays with Ninetales while he gives his mom the flowers. Caleb, he lives midtown and stuff, 1-story house stuff. It's all right living. It's nothing. Just go ahead and say that Izaya also lives in the same area as Caleb, but it's not bad living. But the whole island, like all the houses are nice. It's just 1-story, 2-story. So that's pretty much all that happened in the last episode or the last session that we did. Quick little rundown of it. I know it went on for a little bit longer than I anticipated, but I like to be thorough so that way everyone has like an idea of what happened. So right now it is nighttime and everything. We're going to be setting the stage for the next day. Just a few quick things to know that on this island there is literally Terracle Forest, Terracle, like the town of Terracle Island. Inside Terracle town there is a town square with a battle arena for Pokemon battles, stuff like that. It's nice. On the other side of the island, there is the Pokemon's Professor with lots of acres of Pokemon and stuff like that. This session is going to be kind of guided. Later on, once we actually get going, a lot of it's going to be a guided D&D game, but it's also within the guidance. There's going to be options to sidetrack from the main story of where we're going. Because like in a Pokemon game or the anime, they're going to certain towns to achieve gym badges or stuff like that. So we got to keep on. Like I said, there will be times where we can divert from that path to do side missions or do here and there. So it's going to take a while for us to get through the whole game, and there's a bunch of things I've already planned for after the fact. So we'll get to that when we get to it in the future. For now, we are setting the stage for the next day. I will say it's probably Sunday now. I'm going to say that the previous night was a Saturday. It's Sunday now. So we are waking up. Right now, we're going to go ahead and start with American Warbird. Waking up right now in your nice, comfy room bed, and you nick it probably laying next to you. That what are you doing?
What I'm doing is my daily hygiene, brushing my teeth, taking the shower, or relieving myself of relieving my bladder, and
As one should.
yeah, and then I get ready for the day. And make sure Luna has her homemade Pokemon food that my mom helped me create after figuring out what kind of berries she liked, so I could make her food.
Okay. Okay. All right. So we're gonna switch over to Izaya. So you are waking up in your bedroom right now. I'm assuming it is like phasing in and out of walls or something like that, as a ghost Pokemon would do.
Smart ass.
Yeah. So you're waking up right now. What are you doing in the morning on a Sunday morning?
Well, Ghastly got a little bit excited and basically woke me up by licking me in the face, which gave me the shivers. I get up, go downstairs, and I pour myself a cup of coffee, basically, and then I'm basically reading the paper, finding out what's going on. I just heard that there's been a sighting of a Pokemon on the roads that's been terrorizing people that go down it, and I'm figuring out what to take with me and go hunt down this Pokemon.
You are a very informed teenager
Now,
in
Yeah.
in this Pokemon world.
oh yeah, he is very.
Hey, like
He's
Although I can't really
intellectual.
say much because I'm
not
a reader.
most. Oh no! I'm not saying. I'm
Hi,
not
Dodger.
saying much. I mean, I know Dodger's like he's like what are you guys doing? Um, but yeah, most 15-year-olds and stuff wouldn't just be like, I'm gonna go make a coffee and read paper. But hey, whatever floats your boat, man.
Right.
sure. Hi, how are you, buddy? Oh, you just want to give kisses. Oh, I'm gonna go ahead and say Caleb is he's waking up and he looks like he, as he does every morning, looks like he had a rough sleep. He doesn't have bad like any nightmares or anything like that. Like he woke up on the wrong side of the bed every freaking. He's downstairs. He's kitchen and everything, eating his breakfast and whatnot. Um, After eating breakfast, goes outside with his Charmander and decides to Izaya's house and give him a nice little knock on the door. Um, so Izaya, as you're sitting there drinking your coffee, reading, knock on your door, like, and I Caleb waits for you to open the door. So as you hear the knocks, what are you going?
I'll be telling, well, inner monologuing, saying, "Who is at the door at this time?" I open the door and I see you, Caleb, and I ask, "What do you want?"
Well, I was going to see if you would like to possibly try to investigate this Pokemon that is somewhat terrorizing our island, and I was going to go ahead and go get Wolf and see if he would like to join us as well.
I would agree to go with in search of this Pokemon. But I asked, do we really have to bring Wolf?
Well then.
Well, he was with me last. Oh, starting up for a kind of like little maybe rivalry there, but
We'll
Caleb
see
would
if I take care
answer,
of your
well,
Pokemon.
yes, he was. Wolf was with me last night as we went to the forest edge to see what was going on. We were informed of the Pokemon. I'm sure he would feel left out if he wasn't invited. He's just popping up on both sides now. But I'm sure Wolf would feel uninvited. He would feel like left out if he wasn't invited. So as Caleb Izaya decide to agree to go get Wolf, they're making their way through town. There's a bunch of bird Pokemon flying overhead. Lots of people in the town square already getting ready for their days, greeting each other. It's a very nice. Nothing really ever goes bad in this town. Eventually, they start making their way down to the nicer houses and stuff, and they come across a big house that is Wolf's house. Caleb will go up to the door. He'll ring the little doorbell. That is one of those like camera ones that can see you and all that stuff because he's got the fancy stuff at his house. So Caleb, go ahead and presses that ring doorbell. Wolf, it's on you.
I look through the camera and see that it's Caleb and Izaya. I'm like, good God, he brought Izaya. I answer the door. I'm like, what's up, Caleb?
Caleb will answer back. He'll be like, "Hey, Wolf, me and Isaiah are thinking about going to look for that Pokemon that um, Emily got last night. I was going to see if you were interested in going with us."
Sure. Let me just call Luna over. I look over my shoulder and whistle, and next thing we know, Luna's hopped up onto my shoulder, ready to
Awesome.
go.
So Caleb gives a little smile as he rude tension between you and Isaiah. With I don't know, like if there's like a rivalry there yet or what you guys are brewing. I'm sure this is just like at the moment kind of like decision kind of thing, but it's all good. It's all fun. So as the three decide to head out, they make their way back through town, back to the town square. They see some of the market food and stuff like that that's going on. As they make their way through the town square, they come to the edge of see the forest is edge. If not there. There doesn't actually appear to be a guard at all. So the three make their way to the gates that leads into the forest. normally in a forest you'd be able just to walk in wherever you want. But from Terracol Island, Terracol town itself, the townspeople have built a rather tall that barricades the town from the forest, and there's only one gate that leads into or leads out. You have a way to travel on the water and go around and get into the forest from the shore on the other side. So the three of us are walking up to the gates. Um, what are you guys doing, or what are you doing as we're walking up?
I am reading a book over how to raise a ghastly, basically.
Fair enough. Okay.
And then I look up towards the gate and ask Wolf to go in first.
Okay then. um, when Izaya asked me to go in first, I make double sure that Emily and the Heracross isn't there, or any other person is there before her.
So you're looking around and everything.
Yeah, I'm looking around, making sure we can
Okay.
get through.
Okay. So on that note, go ahead and give me a check. So do an intelligence check.
Uh, 4d10s, right? Or
Uh, so for that you are rolling. Let's see. Let's look at your page. Your intelligence is a 3. Your perception is 1. So yeah, roll me 4d10s.
I got 6, 10, 6, 3.
Okay. So you at least got one success. That being the 10. Basically, our system, you gotta roll a 7 or higher for it to be a success. 10 is a crit success. Anything below a 7 on initiative or like these kind of rolls, dealing with like perception, exploration, stuff like that. If you get below 7, it's kind of like fail. But the cool thing about this is that you're rolling more than one die all the time, so your odds of succeeding way better than failing. You're bound to, and granted, if you get one success, the outcome of it may be like a little on the less surprising. But since you actually rolled a 10, that's it. So as you're looking around, see that there's no one in sight. There's no adults, no one's guarding the fence at all, and you actually see that the fence is actually unlocked. So, with this knowledge, what do you do?
I walk up to the fence and open the gate. Just
Okay.
enough for all of us to get through.
Okay. So as you open the gates, you're gonna go in first. Izaya, you're gonna go in second. Caleb will follow through. And at this time, Caleb will call out Charmander, Natsu, and have Natsu by him, because I'm assuming Ghastly is following, or Spirit is closely behind you, Izaya, and of course Luna is on your shoulder as per usual.
Yeah. Look, Luna don't like the
So
claws.
yeah, she's gonna be like one of those Pokemon that likes to travel around on his hat or his head or his shoulder, or just be like held like in the arms and stuff like that. So, but yeah, as the three make their way into Terracle Forest, uh, it's not super dark. There's beams of sunlight passing through the trees and everything as it hits the forest ground. There's a bunch of grass patches here and there. It's a very thick forest. You can hear the coos of like bird Pokemon and like the rustling and the weird insect Pokemon, bug Pokemon, like, stuff like that. As you guys walk into to a fork in the road, left or right. Go ahead and give me a D10 roll, both of you.
Just one?
Yep, just roll one D10 die,
I rolled
and
a
I'm gonna
2.
roll 2.
I rolled a 10.
You rolled a 10. Okay, so Izaya, left or right? Which path do you
I talked to my
go?
Ghastly that's next to me and asked him, what direction do you think we should go? Ghastly says, let's go to the right. So I trust in his judgment as well, and I decided we should go right.
Okay. So Izaya is talking to Ghastly or the spirit, and Spirit kind of like looks towards the paths, and it turns back to Izaya, and it like looks over towards the right path, indicating it would like to go down that path. Both Wolf and Caleb nod as they motion to let Izaya lead the right path, and so you do. As you guys are making your way down the right path, the forest gets darker. Um, it's a lot more kind of hard to see past several tree lines. The path itself actually begins to disappear as grass begins to take over the path. So we're about a mile or so inside the forest at this. Like I said, this is it's a vast forest. As you guys are in there, we hear a rustling coming from outside. Bushes is and out from it, a weedle pops out and like gives us like a little like look to tilt its head. What do you guys do? The weedle. Now, bear in mind, we don't have any Pokeballs right now. So, what do you guys do?
Uh,
Hmm.
I look at the Weedle and I feel Luna tilt her head, copying the Weedle as it's tilting its head in curiosity, and
Okay.
just watch what the Weedle does.
Okay. Izaya, what do you
I
do?
I would probably try not to agitate it or make any sudden moves due to not wanting to cause
Okay.
it to be any way, shape, or form try to find find any way to make us into a threat. I thought it'd be best if I just stood still and
Okay.
just try to ignore it to avoid.
So Caleb will do the same. Caleb will he'll have Charmanders like stay at his side and everything. Let the Weedle just look at us, and as the Weedle clearly sees that we're just passing through and everything, so nothing happens. It scurries off into the brush and hurries along. So we decided to continue on through the forest and everything. And as we do, we begin to hear voices. So as we hear the voices, we we walk up to the edge of the line of like the brush line and stuff, and we can see a small clearing. In the clearing, we see a group of the Islanders, presumably Emily's dad. They're not hunters, but they're like trainers and elders of the town, and presumably they are looking for Pokemon as well. So at this time, go ahead and give me another D10 roll. I got a 9.
I got a 10.
I got two.
All right, so Wolf, you get to decide what we are going to do in this instance. So we see the people in the clearing. Like I said, Emily's father and other townsfolk, presumably for this Pokemon. what are we gonna? Because they haven't seen us.
I choose to hide behind the trees and the bushes where no one can see us and try and listen into whatever they are saying if they are talking to each other.
Okay. All right. So as we are sitting there listening and everything, we hear the Pokemon uh, in the forest and everything. They seem to be quieter in this area. The men or the people of the town are sitting there and they're talking and stuff. And the Pokemon that they mention is Mew, but it's the elder of the group. It's not Emily's dad. It's like the elder of the town, like the town. He kind of disagrees, saying that Mew wouldn't be here and Mew wouldn't be terrorizing the people of the town. Mew's not that kind of way, but people swear that it was Mew. One person says that it has the power to transform or turn into other Pokemon, and there's only other Pokemon that can do that is they think. So as they're sitting there talking and stuff, a uh, a Scyther comes out and starts waving its scythe around at the townsfolk, and they decide to send down on their Pokemon are not anything like threats. It's like Chianas and stuff like that that they all have and stuff. Needless to say that the Scyther easily beats their Pokemon and stuff. Um, as as it begins to approach the townsfolk, Aya, what are you going to do as this Scyther is approaching the townsfolk? Are you going to sit back and wait and see what happens, or will you try to intervene?
Hmm. I would say I want to see what happens.
Okay. Wolf, what will you do? Are you going to sit back as well and see what happens with the Scyther?
And no, I actually run out there and with Luna hopping off my shoulder, getting in front of me in a fighting position.
Okay. All right. So Caleb is going to step out of brush with you. Izaya, you're going to be with us, but you're still like kind of like behind Caleb as you're like watching what's going on. Since Wolf is deciding to have Luna initiate a combat sequence, the Scyther looks over as it notices us come out of the brush, and it raises its sights up in the air and just like lets out like a big like Scyther kind of like little yell as it would. Um, it looks very agitated. Obviously, whether this is the Pokemon that is terrorizing people or not, it is unknown at the moment. But so a Pokemon battle is going to be initiated. So with this, go ahead and give me a initiative roll.
20.
All right, so you are going to be going first. So remember that Pokemon battles, it is 5 HP for wild Pokemon, for most wild Pokemon at least. Um, so with this, you're going to be rolling d20s like our RPGs that we play as a guild and everything. So you have the first move. What are you going to do?
First move, I call Luna to do a quick attack.
Okay, so
I
go ahead and give me a d20.
I rolled 12.
Okay. All right, so as quickly gives a nod to your command, it vanishes and starts to appear at different angles and stuff. And at the last moment, tries to tackle the Scyther. The Scyther flies upwards to dodge the attack, and then it begins to kind of like backhand swipe at Luna. So, all right, roll your d20.
I rolled a 17.
It rolled a 16. So, the Scyther goes down to swing at Luna, and Luna kind of jumps up over, dodge the attack. At this moment, Luna is kind of like above where the hand is. So, what are you gonna have Luna do?
I tell Luna to land on its on Scyther's claw and then use beat up.
Okay.
I rolled a 7.
It rolled a 7 as well. So in this instance, normally we would say that ties goes to the defender, but for this D&D game, I'm gonna say we're gonna re-roll.
4. The dice gods have
2.
betrayed me.
Well, Scyther rolled a 2. So so as you tell Nickit he's beat up, Nickit kind of like gives like a glare to Scyther as it like charges up Scyther's arm or scythe and just begins to pummel it with little small paws across Scyther's like face, and Scyther's like trying to like swat it away and stuff. After a few good punches from Luna's paws, Scyther tries to like do like a quick like little bite attack and tries to begin. If successful, it would like shake Luna off. So, 15.
14.
Ooh.
So Scyther successfully grabs onto Luna and just tosses Luna across the I can't say arena because there's no arena, across the forest floor, so we say. And Luna, being the first time it was hit, it's not terribly damaged. It kind of like winces at the pain of the bite because it is a rather large Scyther, but it shrugs it off eventually. Your go.
I tell Luna to use quick attack again. And I rolled a 6.
Scyther rolls an 8. Luna will charge again and start disappearing and reappearing at the attempt to headbutt the Scyther in its section. But the Scyther again flies upward to dodge the attack. It then turns around and it goes to use which is a bug type move, and base it's like a cut, but it's bug typed. So it goes to use Fury Cutter on Luna. It rolls.
19.
Okay. So Luna, as Scyther is coming up towards Luna to slash it with, is just in time. That misses its fur, and just a little piece of fur can be seen flowing of Luna's little bitty head there. Now it's back to you. What do you have Luna do?
I tell Luna to use another quick attack again.
Okay. At this push range, Luna quickly comes right in front of Scyther's face and will again attempt like a quick like headbutt in this instance. So
I rolled a 11.
Scyther rolled a 9. So the attack connects. Luna will quick attack and headbutt into Scyther's face, knocking it back a few steps. At this point, Scyther is obviously more agitated as it looks over. And then it uses its wings to beat fast, and it flies towards Luna and attempts to like do another Fury Cutter at it. It rolls 10.
10.
Re-roll 3.
15.
Okay. So Luna is going to, as Scyther is flying towards Luna and getting ready to do the Fury Cutter, Luna is forward was underneath the Scyther and is now behind the Scyther as the Scyther lands and turns back to look at Luna with a glare in its eye. Have Luna do now.
I holler to Luna to use beat up.
Okay.
I rolled a 9.
The Scyther rolled an 11. So as Luna charges to attack the Scyther again with its adorable little paws, Scyther quickly flies upward to evade. It's obvious that a Scyther has the advantage of at least not getting hit. Scyther in turn charges and attempts to use a simple cut attack, but the cut attack is a little bit stronger than a Fury Cutter. So as we roll, Scyther rolls a 2.
18.
So Luna has no problem dodging the cut. As it does, Scyther kind of cuts downwards, try to hit Luna, but its scythe gets stuck in the ground. With this opening, what are you gonna have Luna do?
I'm going to have Luna use beat up with her hind legs. Since
Okay.
Scyther is behind her now.
All right.
I rolled a 9.
Roll to. So, Luna successfully. Hi, Dodger. Luna successfully runs up to the Scyther while its scythe is still stuck in the ground, and it quickly turns around and just uses its back paws to kick the living crap out of the Scyther's arm. After several barrages of kicks and stuff, it is obvious that the Scyther's arm is from being beat up. At this time, the Scyther begins to let out a kind of a roar of sorts. It's not. I mean, you can't really imagine Scyther roaring, but imagine just going doing what Scythers do when they're very. So, at this time, Scyther manages to get its claw free or its scythe free, and it goes to quickly turn around and use it on a roll 17.
11. So that one hits.
That one does hit. Scyther quickly turns around and nicks Luna across the chest. Bear in mind that there is no gore or anything like this in this D&D session. Some people with their Pokemon D&Ds, they go based off the manga, however you want to pronounce it, and literally die and stuff, but we're not going to do that. So, Luna gets hit across the chest, it goes flying backwards and stuff, but it's okay. It gets to its feet. The Scyther is obviously panting as it's down. One more hit will knock out the Scyther. So it's in your court now. What do you have Luna do?
I have Luna use a quick attack. And I rolled a 19.
Okay. It rolls a 7. So Luna will disappear, reappear in different spots all around the Scyther, and it will charge towards the Scyther. Scyther kind of goes in to swat at it, and Luna appears again, and the Scyther looks around to swat at the other mirages of Luna. And again, with Luna's previous battle, Luna actually appears above Scyther, and as Scyther looks up, Luna is coming down with a nice headbutt to Scyther's head, and the Scyther just falls back and lays. Obviously proud, Luna stands triumphant right there and just does a little prance with its paws, and is pretty happy with itself as it looks back to you for approval. What do you do?
I hold my arms out to Luna and let Luna run and jump into my arms while I hug her.
Fantastic. Because you beat a Pokemon or with Luna, Luna will gain an experience point. So Luna is actually 2 XP now. So make sure you keep Warbird.
Alright, got it.
So on a side, the way that we're working with Pokemon and their evolutions and stuff is every time one of your Pokemon beats another Pokemon, that specific Pokemon will gain an experience point. After 25 experience points, there is an option, or there will be an opportunity for that Pokemon to be able to evolve, depending on the circumstances. After that Pokemon evolves, it has to do another 25 or so experience points to evolve again. If it has a secondary evolution. If not, then it's just going to be there. But there will always be different times where a Pokemon can learn a new move, depending on the situation and stuff like that. Oh, Luna gains an experience point. At this time, you're holding Luna in your arms. Caleb and Zaya are sitting back just watching, kind of giving like a grin. Hounds watching the battle commence as they're just like, okay, these kids just beat the crap out of this Scyther when all of our Pokemon couldn't even do that. And they're experienced trainers, so that for their abilities as trainers, I would think. You would think that being experienced trainers that they would have like
A better
evolutions
idea.
and like stronger Pokemon.
A better idea I
Yeah.
have now.
But no. So as this is all happening, this there's laying there. Out of nowhere, the Scyther begins to transform, and as it's laying there, a Zorua is just laying there, and it's struggling to its feet. And if you don't know what a Zorua, are you too familiar with what Zorua is?
I am.
Yep.
Okay, so for those watching this video on American Warbird's channel and stuff, if you're not familiar with what Zorua is a dark type Pokemon that has the ability to transform into any Pokemon that it really wants as well. Its evolution being Zoroark, they're known for being the trickster Pokemon. And the Zorua was being a little prankster and being big, strong Pokemon. The Zorua like gets up and it's kind of like snarling at our as it like backs into the brush, and then you just see it take off. Um, the townsfolk start murmuring among themselves as the elder, the mayor, walks over to a wolf and begins to praise you on a job well done. He's uh, like, son, that was a fantastic battle. Your Nickit there did a fantastic job beating up that Zorua, and we just want to congratulate you on a job well done.
Uh, thank you. I just couldn't let a Pokemon hurt other people.
Well, that's mighty kind of you. I would like to, again, thank you on behalf of all the people here. We've been having issues with this. Apparently, it's a Zorua, and we all thought it was something different. We weren't sure what it was. We just knew it was a very strong Pokemon, and it just turns out to be a Zorua pretending to be bigger, stronger Pokemon. So with your help, we were able to deduce that, and now we know what we're to and what we're looking for whenever we are searching for it again. So I'm sure it's going to turn up once again later on down the road. After he congratulates you and thanks you numerous times over, because obviously he is probably embarrassed that he, alongside the others, weren't able to beat her, and now known as Zorua, which the Zorua, it was pretty strong, but even still, it was it was a pretty young Zorua. It wasn't. It was just being a trickster and everything. So they're obviously feeling pretty embarrassed by it. As they all begin to walk off to go search for Zorua to see if they can find it, Caleb, Wolf, and sitting there in that area. Izaya, after watching Wolf battle, what do you say to him?
I'm impressed that you were able to hold your own against the Zora. How do you ever say it? I really was for sure that you're going to be your Pokemon's going to be knocked out before too long against that powerful Pokemon.
Well, it just takes a strong bond with your Pokemon to be able to overcome anything, really.
Bond. What do you know of Bond? Sorry.
Play your character. If that's how your character acts, play it. Make it interesting. Wolf, what is your response?
Well,
Is
I know a lot about bonds because I'm trying to be a Pokemon breeder, and breeders have to be able to bond with any Pokemon.
If you say so.
Caleb kind of like gives like a smirk and like high fives Wolf for a job well done. He is on and he's like, well, no matter what Izaya says and stuff, you did a great job. I'm I'm fairly impressed as well, especially since we only had our first Pokemon battles just yesterday. So with that being Luna's second battle, I would say you did a great job, man. Um,
That was my wife.
like hello there. She's like my dog just poking out of nowhere. It's like, whoa, where'd you come from? But so as Caleb congratulates Wolf on a job well done, I just hear some snickering coming from the other side of the brush, and at this time, uh, and they're just sitting there, and David, he's walking up with his hands just like this, and Parker walks up, and he's trying to play the cool guy and everything. Parker walks up and he's like, "Yeah, you're a novice, I guess." He's like, "But if I were you, I would have caught that Pokemon." And David he's like throwing like his Pokeball up in the air. He's like, "Here to have a rematch." Parker quickly like raises his hand at David. He's now we will settle this later on. We were just passing through, and we decided to watch the spectacle as it was. I was kind of hoping that I get to see Caleb and his Charmander battle that Scyther, but I guess your little nicket there will suffice. And as he says this, David just kind of gives like a grin. They're obviously being very antagonistic, just trying to get into your nerve stuff. So, as they're anting on, what are you gonna say in response?
I just roll my eyes slightly and go, if you were just passing through, why didn't you come and help the villagers as well?
David kind of like he like interjects before Parker has any time to say anything. He's like, "Why help them? They're adults. They should be able to take care of their own, shouldn't they?"
That may be true, but who knows when you may need help and no one's there to help you.
David kind of gives like a scoff at that remark. He's like, "I want to help my Pokemon are strong."
It also takes a strong bond with your Pokemon to even overcome the greatest of obstacles.
David again just gives like he gives a little like huff, like what? Parker kind of just like he rolls his eyes at the situation. He's just like, "Well, no matter. Like I said, we'll have our rematches here soon." Parker kind of gives like a glance at Izaya and his Ghastly. He's like, "Oh, another new face." He's like, "I look forward to battling you, Ghastly, as well."
Get in line.
Parker kind of like looks at you and he like murmurs to himself, "Line." But they kind of like were just there to just antagonize us just a little bit, but they go on their way as David kind of like he like does like eye thing, like I'm watching you kind of thing, whereas Parker just turns and like throws his hand up in the air as he's saying "see you later" kind of thing. Um, After they leave, a woman steps out of the brush with a young um, and she's wearing a lab coat and she has a rose raid with her. And she just kind of just like looks over at you guys or at us, and she's like, "Well, that was a rather interesting Pokemon battle, and I'm sensing a rivalry between you and those other young men." And as she says this, we all just like turn around to see her and the other young girl that's beside her and the Rose Raid, and we all look in confusion. What are you guys' response to her?
uh, I just say David and Parker are just talks. They like to try and antagonize people into fights just to prove that they're better than everyone.
So she uh she kind of like nods and everything. And she gets close to us, with the girl following close behind. The Rose Raid side. She introduces herself as Professor Rosewood. Professor Rosewood is actually the town's professor of the Eldritch region. A key thing to know about her is that she's actually the youngest professor out of all the Pokemon regions and stuff. At a young age of 28. The girl that is with her, her name is Ken. She's like a 14-year-old who is the assistant to the professor. Rosewood, kind of like she's sitting there just like with her hand like on top of Rose Raid's head. Which Rose Raid is the final evolution to Bidoof or Roselia, and its head is like a white rose, and so its head is basically soft petals. Rosewood looks at each of us and kind of gives like a nod and everything. She approaches us as she hands us each a little map of the region and stuff. And on the map of the region, it gives very detailed stuff about each town and everything. She goes to Wolf as she hands you your map last, and she puts her finger down a map on Terrigal Island, and she points at her lab, and she's like, "You guys can come here and meet with me at my lab. I'll be expecting you guys, and you guys will be welcomed. Be sure to come for the nightfall, though." With that, she kind of like gives like a little like follow with the Rose Raid and Katrina as they nod to her as they walk out of the forest. It looks like we are being joined by Sylvanas.
Oh, Sylvanas.
Hello. Sorry I'm late. I didn't realize it was going to take that long at the damn store.
You're good, man. So for everyone watching, still is another guildmate of ours from the Exodus Dominion. His character is called Zexx. His partner Pokemon is Shubbit. So we will have Zexx to town probably here in just so Zexx or in a few minutes still, Sylvanas, I will catch you up on what happened. Um But as the professor is leaving, we all look at each other, and Caleb kind of like he like looks at the map, and then he looks back up at Wolf and Izaya, and he's like, "So I guess we're gonna be going to the professor's Pokemon lab."
Yes, I'm actually
He
quite
asks like a
interested.
question.
Yes, I'm actually quite interested in what the professor wants with us.
Oh, okay.
Sir Isaiah, intrigued.
Caleb kind of like gives like a nod and stuff, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm kind of interested too. It's kind of weird that she was here the whole time and was just watching. Kind of creepy if you ask me, but what do I know? Professors are like that, I guess, from what I've heard from one of my friends in the Hoenn region. They say that their Pokemon is kind of a weirdo like that as well.
She was probably just observing to see what kind of Pokemon it was that was terrorizing people, to see if there was any clues as to why it was terrorizing people.
That's fair. So, for discussing this, we all decide that it's probably best to go and see what the professor wants. So we decide to make our way out of the forest. It takes us about an hour or so to get out of there from where we are inside the forest. As we're leaving, uh, lo and behold, Emily is at the gates with her hair crossed, and she's kind of like leaning against the fence with her arms crossed, her hair crossed, just like sitting there, like very imposing. And as we're making our way close to the gate, she hops down. She like hops off the fence like that she's leaning on, and she's like, "I advise not to into the forest. Did you guys just warns? You could have been hurt." So, Wolf, I'll go ahead and let you. What do you say to her? Me and you are the ones that know her from the previous night.
Hmm. Well, Emily, we wanted to see the Pokemon and see if there was any way for us to help. And when we got to where everyone else was, they, all their Pokemon got beat, and we had to stop it from attacking the people.
She kind of like gives you like a weird look in her eye, like with a raised eyebrow, and she just goes on to like give like off, like a huff or whatever. She's like, "Well, at least you're okay, but like I said, you could have been hurt." And she like looks over to Heracross and then back at us and stuff, and she's like, "So my dad says that you guys beat the Pokemon, and it just happened to be a Zorua."
That's right.
And she's talking more so to Wolf at this point. So she kind of gives like a nod of approval, but she's still kind of upset that we disobeyed her warnings and stuff. But she stands aside and lets us pass through. And as we make our way through, we're beginning to walk away from the fence, and she kind of like gives out a holler, and she says that later on tonight, during the tonight's festival at the town square for a Pokemon battle. So she wants to battle it. So it seems. So we all kind of like give her like a nod and stuff, and as we then turn back around to make our way back to town. As we get to town and everything, we're walking through suburbs and get to the town square. At this point, we see that the Sylvanas' character Vex is now there in the town square. He's shopping and everything. Izaya, you kind of notice him off in the distance, and you run up to him and kind of like give him like a little tap on the shoulder. So, what do you say to Vex if you see him?
Where have you been?
Got distracted. Had a little shopping to do. Sorry about that.
Excuses, excuses, excuses. You should have been there when we needed you.
Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry.
Forget about it.
So as Izaya like runs up and says that to Vex, Wolf, and Caleb, walk up quick, not quickly, but they come up behind them. They're just they're saying hi to Vex and everything. The four of our characters have been friends for quite a long time, all grown up on the island. So at this point, Caleb would give you the rundown of what's been happening lately, Vex. He tells you about the Pokemon that's been terrorizing the town and everything, and how the townspeople, the mayor, have been looking for the Pokemon. So we all snuck into the forest today to go looking for this Pokemon, and lo and behold, we see a Scyther attacking the townsfolk that are out there searching for it. They all think it's a shapeshifter, so all of them immediately go to you, because they don't believe a Ditto could be there. As the Scyther attacks, the townsfolk, Wolf up and has Luna, his Nickit, go out there and challenge it to a fight. Luna eventually wins, and the Scyther falls over, but then it transforms into its original form, which is Sarua, and the little puppy-looking Pokemon, or fox Pokemon that's black, begins to back up and it runs off into the forest. The townsfolk were surprised to see that it was Sarua all along, just being a prankster and pulling a trick on them. And they congratulated Wolf and everything. And so now we're now back out here. Wolf probably caught up the battle and then talk across and everything. But that's the quick rundown Caleb gave you, and Wolf kind of butted in there a little bit. Izaya just stands back with his book in his hand about Ghastly and other ghost Pokemon and stuff, as he's just sitting there looking on yeah, that happened, yeah. So,
Exactly.
and
You don't like me very much.
Izaya kind of
I put up with you.
Izaya kind of looks, yeah, they're having a weird rivalry group, so that it should be interesting to see what happens there. Hey Dodger, you wanna not do that? Thank you, buddy. My dog is making some guest appearances here and there, as he's about to do once again.
Hi, Dodger.
But
Pepper wants to play
so
Pokemon.
he thinks he's a Pokemon, don't you? So at this point, Izaya will intervene during our conversation, and he goes on to tell Vex that the Pokemon professor, Professor Rosewood, made an appearance and gave us a Pokemon map, or a town map of sorts of the region, and asked us to meet her at her lab. So Izaya, telling when this start, what do you do? Are you going to ask Vex to come with us, or what are you going to say?
Well, Vex, would you like to come along with us? I could use another body.
Sure.
He jests.
Sure.
That
I'd
is
love to
very
join you.
ominous how you said that.
Yeah.
Into their body. So, as as Vex nods to Zaya and kind of raises an eyebrow to him, saying he, out of the shadows from the alley behind them, a Shuppet appears, being Zexx Shuppet Sheets, as he has nicknamed it. Sheet. So Sheets kind of comes up out of nowhere, and Spirit and Sheets begin to just levitate, and them that's weird. But
I
Vex
don't know if
again.
y'all clicking or me. I'm having some major lag.
What's that?
So I'm having some lag issues. I'm hearing every word you say.
Comes in and out sometimes. Hello?
I'm here.
Warbird,
Okay.
can you hear me?
Yeah, it just cuts in like every now and then on my end.
That's Discord for you.
That is terrible news. I thought it was like going good this whole time. You guys should have said something.
I mean,
I even
I
did
wanted
in
to be
Discord.
rude. I mean, it's not as bad.
Be rude.
Now it
That's the
is.
whole point.
Now that he said there's lag on your end and everything, it just made it a whole lot worse. But
Yeah.
before, it didn't do anything that bad. But now that you mentioned it, it's like the Discord gods have like started just making it
Yeah, the
laggy.
Discord gods have decided to curse us.
They just don't like my voice. Well, we'll continue on with this, and we will try to see if if it keeps cutting out on you guys and everything. Just let me know in like a DnD and stuff, and we will work on it after the session and kind of get to where the microphone sounds good. Um,
Yeah.
How much
Man, it
longer
sounds
do
but
we
great.
have of the session? Because I do need to take my dog out.
It
so
sounds good till it doesn't.
they go on until we meet the professor and talk with her just a little bit, and then there that'll probably be a good place to end it. And the session will probably go battle and stuff at the town square. But for now, we're just gonna go to the professor's lab, and we're gonna set the scene for there. So right now, the four of us are now in agreement to go to the professor's lab. As we make our way to the lab, we come across like a four-story white building with glass windows and everything. There is a very vast pasture outside of the lab where Pokemon are roaming free and everything, all belonging to the Pokemon the Leptori and the people that work there. As we get up to the door, Wolf will knock on the door, and he'll be greeted by this very small butler-looking guy. He gives like a little bow, and he introduces himself as Oswald. Of all
Oswald.
names, his name is Oswald,
Oswald.
and he has a very like proper voice about himself. He's like, well, good says, welcome to the laboratory, and he kind of gives like a bow, and he's very formal, and he like opens his arm. He's like, the lady of the lab has been expecting you. Please follow me. And he starts like waddling, like he's literally like a little penguin.
I was about to say if his
His
last
name's
name is
Oswald as well,
Cosmopolitan,
but
I'm out.
he's all like,
Yeah.
it is not
Then he waddled away.
it is not Cosmopolitan or whatever. But
Then
he
he
begins to
waddled away.
waddle as like a little short little fat butler, and he comes up. We all come up to these very big doors, and he like pushed them open with no effort at all, as if they're just like on very like loose hinges. And he's like, Professor Rosewood, young men that you've been expecting are here. Professor Rosewood is with Katrina, her assistant, at a table looking over. Professor Rosewood looks up and she has like the biggest smile on her face, and she's like, "Oh, come in, come in." As we all walk in and everything, she looks over to Vex and she's like, "A new face. Who are you?"
Name's Vex. Um, that's about all I gotta say.
She's like, "So you don't have really much to say, but I guess some people are like that." Katrina kind of like gives like a little glare and like rolls her eyes. She's like, "The least you could do is be more formal to our professor."
Yeah, I skipped formal training. My bad.
She kind of gives you like another like roll of the eyes. And she like turns around and just like takes some of the paperwork and goes to another table. Professor Rosewood kind of like just like gives like a little shrug and a little laugh. She's like, "Oh, don't mind Katrina. She's very caught up in her work and her studies. She's very dedicated to becoming a professor one day herself. Don't mind her though." She's like, "So, um, I saw your Pokemon battle in the forest, and as we talked in the forest and everything, and I feel like I could shoot you guys with a. She then pulls out like a briefcase of sorts, and as she opens it, there are several Pokédexes inside of it. She puts the briefcase on the table, and she's like, "I would ask each of you to take a Pokédex and help me identify all the Pokemon in the region." Now, with this being said, there's a weird, odd occurrence that happens to our region. Our region is known for having the most sightings of legendary Pokemon from other regions. For some unknown reason, they have been coming and gathering here all throughout history at different times, and we don't know why our region is a location that through. So, as you're collecting data on Pokemon in our region, we would like for you to also try to figure out why certain legendary Pokemon migrate to this region for brief times. Do you think you could do that for me?
Sure.
Sure, I
No
love
problem.
sure I love learning about Pokemon, especially with how to raise them.
Caleb listens to all of them, and he kind of gives like a nod. He's like, I think we can definitely do that, especially with our dreams. I want to be a Pokemon master. Obviously, Wolf is one to be a breeder, and the others they want to be trainers and stuff as well. So I think this is something that we could definitely do as we travel the region because we're planning on actually leaving the islands in a few days, anyways. So Professor kind of gives like a nod. She's like, I suspected as much. It is about that time when the new season of and a lot of trainers begin to come towards my laboratory to pick their starter Pokemon. But it appears you guys already have Pokemon, so I don't need to give you guys starters right now. Gives like a nod, and he looks down to Anatsu, his Charmander. He's like, yeah, Charmander's been a friend of mine since my dad left, so I think I'm good on a starter Pokemon. He moves over to where's it's like, I think they got their starter Pokemon too.
I had to chase mine around with a Pokeball.
Mine actually haunted my house for a little while. That was fun.
Me and Spirit, I do a thumbs up and smile as my Pokemon Spirit also smiles back.
Rosewood kind of gives like a weird, like odd look over to Vex, and it's like, that's a good way to start a friendship with a Pokemon is to have it haunting your house first. She's
well, he wasn't haunting my house as much as he was playing, and well, we became friends that way.
She kind of gives like a little snicker and stuff, and she looks over to Wolf and Luna, and he's like, I've heard of Pokemon that just don't like Pokeballs. Take care of her. A Pokemon outside of its Pokeball travels and sometimes get into tricky situations, so be sure to hold her tight.
Yeah, Sheets here likes to ride on my shoulder. Sheets would stick out his tongue and kind of nod.
I just nod my head.
Caleb, like, look. Yeah. Like, Nick it, or Luna just, like, looks over your shoulder and is like, she's just, like, smiling and stuff. Caleb will, like, look over to, like, the others, and he's like, as he, like, takes, like, his Pokedex and everything, and then hands each the others Pokedex as well. As he does, each Pokedex begins to light up as it registers each of the Pokemon that we each have right now. So all of our Pokedexes now have the entries for Charmander, Ghastly, Shuppet, and Nickit. It also has the entry for Roserade, since Roserade is next to Professor Rosewood. So all those Pokemon have been registered. Do bear in mind, we're not going to keep track of the Pokemon that we like register in the Pokédex. It's just there for
course.
formalities and for story plot.
I was gonna ask about that out of character, actually, but yeah.
No, we're not going to do that because that is a lot of Pokemon to track,
Yeah.
and
And in each generation, their deck
so
is completely different.
yeah, and this Pokédex that we're doing. This is a lot of character, by the way. The decks that we're doing, it's going to be from every generation. So, like I said, it's going to be a lot of Pokemon to cover if we were to do that.
Thousands of them, yeah.
We're close. I think it's close to like 800, 900 now, something like that, isn't it? I think so. But getting back into the story, Professor Rosewood just kind of like gives like a nod and a smile as she accepts our answer as a yes and stuff, and she bids us farewell and to check in time to time to give her updates on our Pokemon research and stuff as we're traveling. As we do so, our characters begin to leave and head towards. Oh, that's my little brother, Zach, by the way. And dogs are going to bark for a second, so 1 second. Anyways, so our characters, they get up and they leave the professor's mansion and they begin to head back to town. Caleb, he looks over to the others and he asks them if they are all wanting to travel with him on his journey to, as he wants to get all the gym badges and challenge the Pokemon League eventually. He looks over to each of you and he asks you guys what you guys plan to do.
Well, I plan on traveling to learn how to better raise Pokemon, so traveling with you would give me the benefit of also learning how to make better Pokemon food for each Pokemon and taking care of them.
Caleb would like it. He's like, awesome. He looks over to Vex and he's like, Vex, what do you want to do?
I wouldn't mind traveling along with y'all, yeah. It sounds like fun.
Okay. Caleb looks over to Izaya and he's like, all right, man, it's you're the last one. What are you wanting to do? Do you want to travel with us, or are you wanting to go off on your own?
I guess someone's gonna have to look at a loser, so I guess I'll tag along.
I'm gonna imagine that Izaya is like eyeing Wolf whenever he says that, just for giggles of the plot that you two have created between yourselves.
Honestly, I have
So,
no idea why that started.
I don't
Cheats would stick out his tongue at that.
know either. So Caleb, like he'll just like give like a little chuckle and stuff. He'll give a nod and stuff, and he'll say, "All right, well, let's go to the town square. It seems we have a Pokemon battle awaiting us, and the four of our way to the town square, and this is where we're gonna end the session off. So that is the end of the session. In the next session, do the Pokemon battle, and then we'll probably begin our journey as we make our way off of Terracle Island and begin. That's like I was telling them at the beginning. It's going to be a guided DnD like story, but though it's guided, there will be opportunities for us to like get off track and do like side quests and missions and stuff like that in between towns and everything. So each route will probably can take like 3 to 4 sessions or something like that. Thing. So, but with that, yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun. This also is gonna make a lot of opportunities for us to have Pokemon battles with other trainers, catch Pokemon, so on and so forth. But like I said, we're gonna do the Pokemon battle with Emily. It is not known who she wants to battle yet. More than likely, I think that Parker and David will make an appearance as well.
Okay.
And then, yeah, right. We'll be getting our Pokeballs in the next episode. Thus beginning our journey. And yeah, so with that being said, guys, I will be the summary going of what transpired, and we'll resume in a week. So we will probably like the Discord and everything to go over like some possibilities and of course go over the microphone stuff and to work out the technical glitches. This round was kind of more of it was another trial round in itself to as we're all together now doing this. We may also have 2 other people joining us in the future. I'm still working
Awesome.
out with them, but if we do so, their characters will join us probably like on a run like that. We'll run to them and we'll make it to like an event before they actually join us because they're not going to just run into us and be like, "Oh, we're going to join." No, we're gonna. It's gonna be like a dragged out little like side quest if I have to before they join us. So
Alright.
I'm still talking with them about joining. But until then, we have I'll see. We'll rejoin in about a week for the next session. But like I said, in between there, we will talk it over and go from there. Okay.
Alright.
Sounds good.
Alrighty.
I was late.
How
Oh, you're good, man. Uh, are you still recording? Or are you done? Or did Jerry click off that?
I'm about to tell YouTube bye, so I can stop recording.
Oh yeah. So go ahead and do your outro if you need to. Peace out, YouTube. We will see you guys next week.
Later, YouTube. Don't forget to like the video, comment if you have any suggestions on side quests that may be possible for our D&D session, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't, and also don't forget to hit the bell if you want to get notifications on when I update my channel and get more videos posted. Later.